I know, Derek, you've talked a little bit about potential plans for January and looking forward, and the fact that there's a bit more finance available then. I just wanted to touch on something you said the other night after the Tranmere game, looking at other teams' substitutes benches and players that they can leave out and then bring in. In the best way possible, is there a bit of envy of that when you're in the position that Morecambe are in, where, with respect, you don't necessarily have 5, 6, 7 different options?
Yeah, well, at this moment in time, we've got 3 players out injured, and George Ray, Leanne Gall and Gwion Edwards, and 2 of them are in the forward areas, and that's what I was alluding to. You know, we don't have much options in the forward areas at this moment in time, whereas other teams do, and that benefits them in the long run. But hopeful that Lee and Gwion will be back soon, and then in January, we'll look to strengthen that area as well.
Is that going to be a priority then for the recruitment, even though you've got a couple of guys coming back from injury?
Yeah, it is, because already identified positions that we would like to strengthen. That doesn't mean that anyone has to leave. It's natural that some people will leave because, one, they want game time somewhere else, and someone else might want them. But from my point of view, it's about adding to the squad rather than taking away, because we are low in numbers. We've got 23 players at this moment in time, so we want to just strengthen the squad.
It's obviously a bit of a crystal ball situation with the FA Cup. You're going to Chelsea again. You know that is going to mean some sort of a windfall. We're not quite sure how much that'll be. Might that change that January picture for the positive?
I don't think so. It's similar to the cup money that we've already generated. That's gone into the running of the football club, which is fine. And the money that we have been given is to do from the potential new owners, as the statement said. And the money that comes in from Chelsea will probably still go into the running of the football club.
If there is progress on the ownership front, and I think we're safe to assume that statements being released suggest there has been some progress, might that picture change whenever that happens?
I don't know that. I can't tell if that is going to be the case. It depends when new owners comes in, what their full focus is, and how they're going to generate. We've got the lowest budget in the league. Everyone knows that. So we look at the difference between the bottom place and the average in the bottom 6 is quite vast. Looking at it from there to halfway mid-table, it's really quite big. And then you look at it from top to bottom, it's nearly 3 times as much. So it's a huge difference in income. So we've just got to wait and see what happens, where the new owners decide to invest in, and then take it from there.
We spoke last week about coaching and making players better and improving what you've already brought in. Can you look at someone like Ben Tollett? I think it's 8 goals now, isn't it, in all competitions, who's, I think, always had that potential and was really highly rated as a non-league player and as a youngster. Can you use players like that as an example of, he's come here, we've got him doing X, Y and Z, and that's the output?
Well, we look at it, and we have done that, because if you look at the amount of players that have either gone back from their loan and gone into a better club, so to speak, in a higher division, players that have left us in the summer that have all gone on to play in a higher division, they're vast, and that's the potential that we've got. Ben Tollett has done exceptionally well for us, scored goals, had assists, and we're improving his game knowledge, his game by game, and that's never easy, because he's 29 years of age, and he's been playing in a certain way for a certain period of time. We're just helping him in a small matter of out of possession and in possession to try and make him better.
Is it important to have a player who is your biggest threat, let's say goals and assists? You've had that in the past, of course. Or is it better, with what you've told us about losing forward players, to have that spread out across a group of players? I guess you don't get to choose, but...
Yeah, I mean spread out is far better in my view, and I think that we've had that over a period of time, but Ben has done exceptionally well this season. He can play off the left, off the right. He can play as a number 10 as well. But everyone else has to chip in with goals, and that's what we're trying our best to do.
League-wise, Derek, throughout this season, in fact, throughout all the time that we've known you on BBC Radio Lancashire, you've been pretty level-headed. Mm-hmm. How much of a difference does it make to other people, do you think, to be out of the bottom two?
I think that it probably is important to other people, and psychologically, other teams that look at us as well. And I said this many weeks ago. There's a number of teams that think they're safe when they're not safe, and we have shown that when you put a run of victories, a run of draws together, then you can catch teams above us. And quite naturally, the ones that are not winning at this moment in time are starting to come back to us. But it's important we keep that winning run going.
I think it was before the Harrogate game we talked about reeling teams in, excuse me, getting them into that sort of area, bringing them back in. You've done that. What's the next target?
Probably the next target is to get into that pack now of teams that are around about the same number of points, that are just about higher than us. If we can get in there, then it's about getting out of that pack into the next pack, and that's what it's all about. How far can we get away from the teams below us, and how far can we get in touching distance with the teams above us?
Do you think that other teams will look at you differently now that you're getting the results that you're getting?
I don't think so, because they've been very complimentary to us. When we've spoken to managers, press, even in television, they understand that how well we have played, and we haven't had the results that our game has shown. But now we're getting results, and other people will be worried about us.
There were no league points on the line, were there, for that Bradford game? But you did win, and you won here. How significant is that for the players and their mindset, and I suppose more importantly for your home supporters?
Yeah, I think it's great that to win an FA Cup game. It was against one of the biggest teams in the division, and it was a game where we knew if we won, then we would be able to possibility of getting a big team in the next round, and that's what we've done. And we've generated more income for the football club, which is great, and it allows the whole football club just to refocus, take a breather, not worry where the next penny's coming from for a wee while now, and that's hugely beneficial.
Is winning at home, is getting a victory here a factor?
Not really, from the point of view, because we'll know we'll win games here. We've got a very good home record in the past. Away from home, we found it difficult in the past, but this season, we've done really well away from home. Not picked up the results we feel we should have at home, but we do think that we will pick up more wins at home this season than away from home.
What do you think of Grimsby, who brought a bit of an indifferent run to an end in emphatic style in the week? Yeah,
they've got a style of play that they win, they lose, and that's the way that it happens, and it's been beneficial to them. They've lost 8 games this season, but they've won 9, and that's allowed them to get into a really good position at this moment in the league campaign. A great victory they had the other night against Accrington Stanley, and we know that what type of team's coming to us on Saturday.
What does it say about draws then, if they're not drawing many?
Yeah, wins are important. They're the most important thing in this league. When the system changed from 2 points for a win to 3 points a win, it was really important that you get that 3 points, because it propels yourself up that league so quickly. And a draw can be good at times, but we know how important 3 points are.
Is it sometimes a judgment? Do you gamble if you've got a point in the bag, sort of thing, if you're level in the game?
Yeah, it depends how the game is running, and if you're on top of the game and you are drawing, then you've got to go for the victory. It can be that if you're holding on, then you have to take the point and move on to the next game.
And just lastly, is that something that you need to improve on still, when you're on top in a game, making the most of it, sort of thing?
Yeah, I think that does, but it comes with the players' game knowledge as well, about their trusting each other. It's about their confidence in that moment, and sometimes when you're a young squad, sometimes you just panic a wee bit, and we possibly did that the other night against Tranmere, but Tranmere at home are always, a difficult opponent.